Hello and welcome to this Japanese Java user group talk. Today we're going to talk about Helidon, a wonderful project Helidon, and the talk is called How to Fly Like a Rocket with Helidon. My name is Dmitry Alexandrov and I'm a software developer at Oracle. You can find me on this email or in Twitter with this handle, which is Berkut2000. Like every Oracle employee, I have to show you this slide. That means that all the business decisions you make, actually, you should review them before actually applying them. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, we're going to see what actually Helidon is. We're going to talk a little bit about what microprofile is and how Helidon actually applies to microprofile. Then we'll go a little bit deeper with Helidon reactive APIs, and there will be some surprises. So let's do it. So what actually Project Helidon is? So we call ourselves as a set of libraries for developing microservices. So we're not exactly a framework or micro framework. So we're like somewhere in the middle. All the information is definitely available under our website, which is helidon.io. You probably ask yourself what actually Helidon is, and in Greek it actually means swallow, this wonderful small bird, which is like I probably say the best word for describing microservice. It's very fast, very maneuverable, and the way they fly in flocks actually is definitely a wonderful explanation, and we actually see microservices. So the best part of it actually is that although it's made in Oracle with mostly Oracle employees, it is actually a fully open source project, probably one of the first, if not second project in Oracle, which is available to you under Apache 2.0 license. So absolutely no compromises. All code is available to you under GitHub /Oracle/Helidon. And all the issues are there, everything is available, and you can also contribute there. So as you see, as it's done like this, it's really fast, small, and really fun to use. Why would you ask yourself? Well, mostly because it's built on top of Netty, so we are completely asynchronous from the very beginning. And moreover, since it's like a microservices framework, the main idea that we are cloud native ready, like from the very beginning. That means that we do support REST, health, metric, tracing, and everything you need in the clouds to make it work. And more than that, we are GraalVM native image friendly. So we have mostly all covered in our GraalVM native image support. That means that not just partially, not experimentally. No, we are shipping this as our one of our main features. So Project Helidon is already GraalVM native image ready. And more than that, this may affect your business decisions, by the way. So we are absolutely without any compromises. Java 11 plus oriented. That means that we do not make like support of something which is outdated. So we only focus on what is really new in Java, and since it's very new, we apply it, and that means that we are getting the ultimate performance with ultimate up-to-date Java platform just from the very beginning, and we are always focused on this. So that means that we are modular from the very beginning, so we are using all the benefits that Java post 9 world actually gave us. Java 11 plus, and when 17, the newest LTS release comes, we will just switch to it. So no compromise, we are Java 11 plus. So just to show you some history about what actually Helidon is. So actually the project is quite mature. That means that we're maybe quite new to the public, but actually this project started evolving back to 2015 when actually Oracle said that we need our own runtime for microservices, and this was called previously Project Airport when we actually started getting our first ideas about what microservices runtime may be. So we are quite inspired by Spring Boot, definitely. So we followed the same idea. And back in 2016, so the project was renamed to Prime, so something we're like uh, getting as our prime goal. And at this point, this microkernel and modules were actually established for the project. And the team was, by the way, split into US and Czech Republic. So in 2017, the project started evolving. So it was called J4C since there was a fashion to call everything J4 something, Java for Cloud, and actually this was our first set of libraries for developing microservices. So from the very beginning, we had our reactive web server, configuration, security, everything, and actually this was the foundation of what we call Helidom. So back in 2018, it was finally renamed to J4C to Helidon, which is great. And we actually started our micro profile support. That means that we decided that we will do something which is standardized, and a good foundation for that exactly is micro profile. I'll talk a bit later about it. Best part of it is that it was completely open sourced and moved to GitHub, and actually this year was the first public release of it. So it became a product. In 2019, version 1.00 was officially established, and actually this was not only product but actually production ready, which is the best part of it. So in 2019, main focus was microprofile, and big focus was GraalVM native image support, mostly in reactive part of it. And we had our first customers. And in 2020, well, release 2.0 was done. That means that this was our actually really first, well, I would say best release, or something that we use right now, and something which we actually promote right now, because this is really a product which is ready to serve all of your needs. So this is what we love it. And of course, we have our commercial support. So what's next? Actually, now we are working on other stuff like LRA, like GraphQL is always ready. Everything is GraalVM native image ready, so we get a lot of it. And once again, since this is an open source project, everybody can contribute. This means that we accept PRs. Just go to GitHub, Oracle, Helidon issues and submit your issues, and if you have a solution, just submit your solutions. We will be more than happy to review it and accept it in our project. So let us actually see what Helidon is. This is a high-level architecture, as I already said. Netty is something which is built on, we built on top of it. So reactive from the very beginning and asynchronous from the very beginning. And then there is a thin layer of our APIs, reactive APIs, which is like serving and wrapping everything around Netty and providing you all this cloud infrastructure that you need. And like the final level is layer is Helidon microprofile. So as you said, we are microprofile oriented. That means that we are supporting microprofile, and we are providing most of our services via microprofile specifications. Let us actually see what actually microprofile Helidon MP and like our support of microprofile, what is it? So just a few words about microprofile itself. For those who actually don't know it. So once again, as Oracle actually released Java EE, this support of open source community specifications was established like the very same year. Several participants, mostly like IBM, Red Hat, Payara, Tommy Tribe, even Microsoft, sat on one table and said, we need a specification, a standard specification to serve all our needs for enterprise Java microservices. And back 4 years actually, the first one was established. Only 3 specifications were included, like CDI, JSON P, and JAX-RS that were included. That were the foundation of microprofile. And now, with a high cadence of 4 releases per year, so new specifications come, and the old specifications themselves evolve. So more information you can find on the official website, like microprofile.io. As I said, specification. Currently, the release version is Microprofile 4.0, and what are the specifications there? So as I say, specification is not a implementation. It's just a specification which other vendors should implement. So we are one of those implementers. That means that Helidon implements like open tracing, open APRS clients, configuration, since we're living in the cloud, fault tolerance, metrics, jot propagation, HEL, CDI, JSON-P, JAX-RS, and JSON-B. This 12 specification make actually the backbone of my profile. And there are even more which are like now outside of the scope, but they still evolve on the community process. It means that there's a community who cares about it. And currently it's version 2.0. So where is Helidon in this? So we are currently, well, almost like ready for release of like 4.0. That means that it may come like just in a few days. When I record this video, it may just come right in a few hours after me. But currently, officially, we support everything about 3.3, and this is microprofile config, fault tolerance metrics, even reactive stream operators, reactive messaging, which are like part of the not exactly part, but outside of the specification right now. And more than that, we have Jakarta specifications, which we just included there, which is like CDI, JSON processing, binding, WebSockets itself, patch distance, and transactions and annotations. That means that when you download Helidon, you get this out of the box. But more than this, since we had a high demand of other specifications like CORS and gRPC, both serving clients, we have decided to also include them into the standard components of Helidon MP. So when you download Helidon MP, what do you actually get? So first of all, it's the configuration. So configuration is also portable. That means that you can port your code from any other vendor's server to our runtime, and it will be available under microprofile -config/properties. So everything is there, and it's a standard way of doing things. Since we're living in the cloud health check is one of the main things you actually need. So we provide it under the standards of a microprofile, and it's like you have everything like readiness, liveness. It's available to you and the standard endpoints. Of course, you need to gather metrics, and they are available. All this telemetry and monitoring, they are available to you once again out of the box, and they can be collected via Prometheus. So with Prometheus format, then visualized with Grafana, for example. They are also available in JSON format, so everything is standard, and we do support it. It has all the metrics have their scopes, so that means we have base metrics, vendor-specific metrics, and application-specific metrics. If you need them, you can implement them yourself. So just use it, actually. And of course, since microservices is a distributed system, so we need to keep tracing of it, and out of the box we have support for open tracing, which is part of microprofile specifications, and even more we have pre-configured support for Zipkin and Jaeger, which are the most commonly used traces right now. So you don't need to implement everything, just add a dependency and it will work out of the box. Definitely, since once again I said we are like living in a distributed system, we have our distributed problems. It means everything can fail unexpectedly and on its own. So circuit breakers, bulkheads, async everything you have here, and you have it out of the box when using Helidon MP. Definitely, we are not only providing services, but we're also consuming services from other services, and that's why you have this REST client, and it's once again available to you out of the box. Of course, you can document everything with Open API. So let us actually see how this works, because it's just slides, it's not interesting. So how can you start using Helidon? So first of all, so we are Maven oriented mostly. That means that there's an archetype for that. You can just download the archetype and create it, or just add a dependency, which is like Helidon microprofile. There's a bundle for microprofile, for example. And if you don't need anything, you just can download the core components. So just use the core. There's another way of starting your project. So there's a starter.microprofile.io where you can actually start your project. It will create you a POM file. So just enter some information. It will generate everything for you. And just don't forget for runtime to choose Helidon. This is a best choice for for running my profile stuff. But actually, we have made it a little bit better for user experience. So we went further and we created our own command line application, which is available to you under a standard download. So it's interesting because the application itself is written in Java, and it's compiled into native image for all three platforms like Linux, Mac OS, and currently Windows. Now it's been published. So you just download the application and see how it works. So let us actually try it. So I have created, I have downloaded it for me, and the only thing I need to do is actually run Helidom init. So what it will do, it will only ask you some questions. So first of all, it usually checks the Helidom version, so I know that 2.2.2 is the current version right now. And as we said, we have several flavors. As we're talking about microprofile, let us choose microprofile, create a quick start application, just answer some question: what's the product name, what's the artifact ID, what version to use, package names, of course, and we are almost done. So the only thing is about to ask us to start so-called development. Currently we will answer no, but I will show you later then what it is. So actually, let us see what it's generated. So it's created a quick start MP application, which is like a standard Maven project, which is already fitted with some Java files, which you can use and reuse. Let us actually open our favorite IDE and start a project. So it's definitely needs some times for us to start it. So just give us a second. Yep. So I will open my favorite IDE and give it some time to load it, because now as I'm recording this stuff, it usually takes a while to resolve all dependencies and to actually generate our project. So let us see what we have here. As I said, main file, and we have some greeting resource. So as you go to the code, you will see actually everything is microprofile specific. So there's a file when we say there's a path under greet, there's a bean which is request scope, which injects like with CDI like a provider, and there's some get methods, put methods with some API descriptions of what it actually consumes. JSON, like here is JSON, and this is actually a resource, a typical REST resource, which you can use. So greeting provider is just generates us greetings. So let us open a terminal window and see how we can actually use this code. The interesting thing is that you can have IDE support, but for example, if you're not using IDE or you're absolutely new to Java world and you don't know what actually Maven is, our CL application supports so-called so it can build everything for you. So you just say Helidom build, and it will handle all the all the build process. So it will just build it, test it for you, and run. So once again, because of the recording, it usually like consumes a lot of CPU resources, so it's a little bit longer than expected. But if you're using this on a regular machine, it will just be fractions of okay, not seconds, but in less than a minute you will get it. So as you see, it runs your Maven test, Maven build, then Maven test, and I believe very soon we will have the result. Yes, so it tests it. So even from the very beginning, it tests everything for you. And as you see, there is a good README file which you can use to so it's already generated for you, which you can see what you can do with these applications. So once again, it packaged everything for us. It outputted a jar file. So once again, we're following the idea of jar, and yes, it builds. So the only thing you need now to do is just to make java minus jar target and click start. Yes, once again, just because of the recording, it's consumes a lot of resources, but this usually takes like fractions of a second, and it's already running. So let us actually do some curls. We'll just take those from the example. And if we just use hello world, wonderful, it works. But more than that, from the very beginning, you have curls not only for our service itself, but you also can get the health, and you see that's okay. There's my Mac, and it has so many spaces, so many free bytes available to us, and this is information you can read. So once again, we also can do metrics. That means that from the very beginning, when you download Helidon, and you don't need to actually configure it anyway, you just can get metrics under like REST format. So everything, what is used, how many processes are running, how many CPU available, how many RAM memory available, and what are the, for example, usage of garbage collection. So it is available to you. But let's keep it a little bit. Let's keep more. So for example, there's a so-called developer mode. So if you are using your favorite IDE or even a VI editor, for example, or Emacs editor, for example, you don't actually need the full support of IDE, so you just can start a dev loop. So what does that actually mean? That when it's starting the dev loop, it will handle all the changes in your files which are made to you, and it will reload the components if you change them. That means that, for example, if we it's not only for Java classes that we do, and we can also change resources. For example, if we change the resources here and just save them, so you see the Helidon dev mode recognizes them, and as it recognizes them, it reloads the server for us. So it rebuilds the file and reloads it, and every time you do curl like greet, Oh, it's actually then the health, sorry. So I'll do the greet. Yes, you see that it loaded the changes and now it's working in a nice way. So dev mode helps you to automate all the build processes for you. So let us just stop it right now. So you see, only with few lines of code, we created a fully functional applications. So let's go further. So and now I kindly welcome you to something what we call the danger zone. So and this danger zone is actually our Helidon SE. Yeah, you don't have to say it like dangerous to use. No, it's like a challenging zone. It's actually, as we say, as a backstage pass zone. So this Helidon SE is actually the set of reactive APIs. You probably remember the picture that we did in our Helidon high-level architecture overview. So this is the layer which stands under the NetT, between NetT and Helidon microprofile. And instead of actually hiding it from you, from our developers, we actually provide it to you. And it's wonderful because it's a pure Java. So what do we have? If Helidon MP is microprofile specific, then Helidon SE is pure Java reactive non-blocking microframework. Helidon MP is like fast, and Helidon SE is like incredible. It's much faster than MP. So if MP has really small footprint, Helidon SE has really tiny footprint. So and so once again, API style of doing things is like E style APIs in MP and pure functional APIs available to you under SE. And once again, there is absolutely no magic. That means it's a pure Java. Only a few annotations like override maybe are used there, and everything happens really, really quick. So two examples of code. So if you go to MP, there we have this path annotation, get annotation, and Helidon SE is pure reactive way of doing it in pure Java. So routing, builder, get, response, send, build, and server, just create and start. Pure Java. Once again, the core components are almost the same as we provide actually serve this foundation for Helidon MP. And more than that, we have something which I'm very proud of. We have our own DB client, which is actually, since we are reactive underneath, we have created our own DB client, which actually wraps everything which is blocking and provides you a way to work with it in a non-blocking fashion. That means that we handle all this reactive running of a JDBC driver. That means we have a separate executor for it, and we run it in a separate separate threads and provide you a reactive way of communicating with your database, even if it's blocking JDBC driver. So, and it's very much integrated in our ecosystem. That means matrix tracing, health check, everything is available under well, out of the box, and of course we utilize the same method of configuration. It's the central way of doing it via Helidon config. The same is about web clients. So if you want to work with your client, and if you want to consume somebody else's resources in a non-blocking fashion, there is a web client which is totally unblocking, following once again API flavor, and it's very much integrated in into Helidon features like all this metrics, health, and everything is available. So observability features are available, and it's very much extensible. So please try it. We are more than happy that the reactive streams and messaging are also available to you. We have our own set of asynchronous, actually implementation of reactive streams. So we are happy that our main contributor, actually, one of the main contributor is the inventor of reactive itself, is David Karnak, and he contributed to Helidon for this implementation. So, but we're also available to, not available, provide way to use reactive stream implementation like Java, Project Reactor. And we are already ready, once again, to provide Oracle streaming Kafka services. So where we are just trying. It's very nice. And what is cool about us is that reactive streams operation are once, actually twice faster than our competitors. So no, it's the more the better actually here. So we're fast, really fast. So we are very performant here. So let us just have a small demo just to see how it works. So once again, we will use our Helidon init. This way we will do the SE, quick start, and actually ask some questions. You know what developer loop is, and we will open our idea for the quick start project. Oh, just a second. Quick start. Yep, quick start. SE is the right way of doing it. Let's give idea some time to load. Oh yes. So once again, we have a wonderful README, which has, by the way, as you see, we have the same examples here. So this is probably the same as MP, but written in this Java-only way, I would say. So let us have a look. Once again, what's the favorite part of it is that we don't have these annotations and all that hidden stuff. We even have just a main method with what is a server builder. We're using builder pattern, so we build it. We start the server in a reactive, not exactly reactive, but a asynchronous way. So every start provides a completable future, which we can then reuse or chain, actually make a chain of our reactions on it. That means that when the server starts, we then accept to do the server started, etc., etc. So the routing, so we have metric support and once again health support. We just register them, build them, and that's it. So the greeting service, there's only one thing you have to implement if you write your own service. So this is the service interface when you actually has to provide routing. So routing is when you map your methods to the actually URLs which is used. So once again, if you run it, well, the funny thing is that you can start it like directly like a main method and even debug it, of course. But in this case, we just start it. So the EDU itself will just build it for us. Once again, just because of the recording, it usually takes a lot of CPU. And usually this happens in fractions of a second. Runs smoothly. So as you see, it's just a pure Java program. And you see it usually starts like in really fractions of a second. Yes, it's running. And if we do the same commands like Carl's greeting, look, we will have the hello world, we will have the health checks. Yep, absolutely the same. And for example, metrics. This way the metrics will be provided in a Prometheus format. So wonderful. Just start it from your EDE. You can run it, build it the same way, absolutely. And you see it's really small and fast, and by the way, debuggable, so it's pure Java. Yep. Let us go further. So once again, if Helidon and P, like if we compare them, it's like it solves, I believe, 90% of your technological demands. That means that you provide you safe and comfortable flight or like in a big jet plane. Helidon SE is like a fighter, so if you need ultimate performance and to be very maneuverable and to solve like very specific issues, Helidon as E can definitely be a wonderful choice because, once again, instead of hiding from you the internals, we actually give you the backstage pass. So, and you can use it for solving like really cool issues. So what do we actually user get? So first of all, as you see, so we get an executable jar. So that means that we're using the whole jar idea. So we all third-party libraries are stored separately in a lib folder, just because of the Docker layering. So we had Docker aware from the very beginning. Next thing, as I said, we're Java 11 plus. All the code we have is modular. That means that we are able to use to create optimized GRE plus applications. We just throw away all what is not needed and you just use it. And that's why your startup life is faster and there is no other pollution without a file that you don't use in your code. They just won't be there, so it makes it even more secure. And of course, the ultimate performance is gathered with GraalVM native image. Well, just faster start, smallest memory consumption. There are some restrictions, but they are like language level restrictions, which are we should be aware of them in when you're using GraalVM. But once again, the memory consumption is really small, like native image can do like 28 megabytes. By the way, we have played a little bit more, so this Hello World application with everything, with even database access, can get down to 16 megabytes of executable. That means everything. So there's there's a how you call it, a session with I'll provide a link with GraalVM guys. There's a stream when we actually demonstrate it, and it goes really small. So JLink you see is also very much optimized. Now the startup times, so fractions of second. Once again, it was not hard to show you because of the CPU usage, which was really big, and disk footprint is really small, like megabytes. So once again, we are short in time, so it's very hard to show you everything. So there's a vast example covering everything. Once again, Helidom 222 is out, which is actually cool, and we have quite some good highlights. So first of all, virtual threads, microprofile GraphQL support, Micronaut data integration. Yes, and this comes with the release. Let's have a look, by the way. So we have a few minutes. Let me show you something about Project Bloom. So virtual threads. So I can't actually focus on this because well, it will take me a while to describe, but let's bear in mind that you know what virtual thread is, and the main idea that virtual thread Project Bloom is actually a big game changer, really big game changer in the community, and it allows us to write code in a synchronous way because asynchronous way of doing things is really complicated, but we are already aware of this project. That means that we already do support it, although actually Project Bloom is like still experimental, but we are looking into the future, and that's why we actually are experimenting with it. So let us see what version of Java do we have. Minus version. So it's 11, so let me switch to JDK 17. JDK 17. You see, I'm already looking something from the future. That means that yes, now we have the Loom support, and I believe the target is already there. So I will try to do the Java minus jar target quick start MP. Yes, it's already built. That means that here I've made something that is the same project that we're using. The only thing I've added is a thread dump. So that means if we run Helidon, yes, actually, if we make the curl to hello greet. So it will actually, yes, provide us the stack trace. This is not much interesting to us, but if you go down there, you see a lot of Jersey well stuff at sea, but you see this 3 lines of code, virtual thread. That means that every thread, every code we're actually running is like in its own virtual thread. So this is amazing. We do support it out of the box from the very beginning. The only thing you need is actually to say in the configuration server virtual threads. This saves us really a lot of time. Yes, so it works out of the box. So next thing is actually Micronaut Integrations. You know, Micronaut is a masterpiece in the world of microservices. So we said that we can consume everything which actually Micronaut it made in Micronauts. We can read it directly from Helidon, so you don't need to rewrite it. So that means that you have integration of Micronaut stuff in Helidon. It means that all the Micronaut beans are available inside of CDE. And that means that you only need to add a few dependencies like Micronaut integration. Of course, you have to do some Micronaut dependencies which are their own, since Micronaut is building everything in compile time. You just add the plugins, and here, since we have no more time, unfortunately, there's a demo for that. The same is with GraphQL. So GraphQL is very much appreciated now, and GraphQL support, we already have it out of the box. It's micro profile way of doing things, but we also have it in Helidom SE. So there's a specially prepared demo for that. Just have a look at it. So, and in the end, I would, because we're a few minutes ahead of time, so Helidon is a wonderful project for you to start actually your microservices, and I believe if you like it, so just go to helidon.io, and there's a wonderful resource to get started. We have for those who like to read, we have a Medium channel where we describe all the functionality in articles with good examples. And if you don't like to read but like watching videos, so just go to YouTube channel, and we have specially prepared videos to you. So thank you very much, arigato, for this talk, and I hope you like it. And once again, Helidon is an open source project, so please take a look at it, and we really would like if you contribute or just submit issue if you find that something is not working properly. So thank you very much, and it's been a great pleasure to talk to you, and hope to see you offline someday, maybe in Japan, maybe somewhere else in the world. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.